And now we return to the movie of the week, All Forgiven on the Western Front.
Tin Hut! Tin Hut! Look at yourself, soldier. You're a disgrace to your uniform.
I took a hit, sir.
I can't hear you.
I took a hit, sir.
Is that blood?
Yes, sir.
You've fallen in the line of duty?
I'll be okay, sir. I just need some help standing right now.
Help? Standing? You want us to carry you on a little fluffy pillow?
No, sir. I just...
A wounded soldier is a soldier who's failed. I don't tolerate failure, son.
I've been on the front line a long time, sir. This is the first time I've fallen.
1 time, 100 times. A wounded soldier has no place in a perfect army. Tin Hut! Tin Hut!
Is there a problem, Sergeant?
The soldier's just returned from battle, sir. I apologize for his appearance.
Front line?
Yes, sir.
He took a hit. Don't worry, the firing squad will take care of him at daybreak.
Firing squad?
Firing squad?
What kind of army shoots its own wounded, Sergeant?
A perfect one, sir. In this army, there's 0 tolerance for failure.
Whose rule is that?
My own, sir. Soldiers like this bring shame to us all.
And just how many perfect soldiers you have under your command?
Well, none, sir. They've all failed. The losers. But they're gone now. And this one will be gone soon.
Isn't that my decision to make?
I know how busy you are, sir. I just thought I'd offer my assistance. You know, weed out the weaker ones.
Apparently, Sergeant, you've misread your goal. Your manual, the goal is to build up the weaker ones, not weed them out.
But General, I'm not asking anything of my troops that I don't demand of myself. My uniform's pressed, my gig line straight. You won't find a single thing on me that's out of line.
Except your heart. When's the last time you were on the front line, Sergeant?
Well,
Your comparison's getting a little rusty. Maybe it's time you saw a little front line action.
Perhaps I was a little too hard on him.
As the highest ranking officer in this army, I'm granting a soldier a second chance.
Second chance, sir?
That's right, soldier, and a third and a fourth if need be. Perfection is our goal of the army, not a minimum requirement.
Thank you, sir.
So you're saying if a soldier falls in battle, we stop and have to help them?
It's in the manual.
But General, I was always taught that there's no excuse for failure.
I don't know who your training officer was, Sergeant. But in this army, the only thing there's no excuse for is unforgiveness. Don't worry, soldier. You're going to be all right. Just take this and you read it every day. When you're feeling strong, you're feeling good again, you can come back and get back into battle.
I will, General. You can count on me.
I know I can, son. Now, come on. We got a war to win.
What about me?
Well, we want you back in the battle, too, only this time, remember who the enemy is.
Folks, you want chariots? I've got chariots at Akim's. I've got luxury models, compact models, sports models. Friends, I've got them all, so come on down to Akim's pre-owned chariot Moonlight Madness sale. You say you can't afford a chariot, you say. Not true at Akim's. Take a look at this baby, 1957 convertible. Yes, I said convertible. Plenty of legroom, air conditioning, just broken in, only 10,000 miles. Drove by a little old lady that drove it to the chariot races only on Sunday. Now, you say, so how much do you think this beauty like this would go for? 300 shekels? No, not 300 shekels. 200 shekels? Not even 200 shekels. 200 shekels, you say. How about 150 shekels? I'm telling you, I'm going to sell this chariot for you for 100 shekels. That's right, 100 shekels. Somebody got to put me away, man. I tell you what, I must have gone completely mad. I tell you what, I'm just going crazy out here trying to sell this chariot. So I tell you what, come on down and you go down and you sell this. I tell you what. Yes, folks, but you know my motto. I'm not here to make money. I just want to help my fellow man as best as I can here at Akim's. So come on down and take this baby out for a test run, or any one of my pre-owned chariots. I guarantee there's one here that you'll like. And don't forget, we take trade-ins too. 48% financing on approved credit. That's Akeem's pre-owned chariots, where the highway meets the byway. So come on down and drive this baby away today. And remember, at Akeem's, towing not included.
We interrupt this program to bring you a late-breaking news story.
So far, there's been no sign of the man lost late last night at sea. Known only by the name of Jonah, he was apparently en route to the city of Tarshish when the unfortunate incident occurred. We have with us now an eyewitness to the tragedy. Sir, can you tell us what exactly happened here last night?
I was on the boat and a man fell overboard. That's all I know. Well, if you excuse me.
Oh, sir, the water was pretty rough last night.
We hit a bad storm, yes. Now I really must be going.
Sir, is that how Jonah fell overboard? Was because of the storm?
Well, sure, I guess.
Well, he didn't fall overboard, didn't he?
Look, I had nothing to do with it. It was the others.
Sir, nothing to do with what?
Nothing. Okay, I'll tell you the truth. He didn't exactly fall overboard.
Are you suggesting foul play?
We only did what Jonah told us to do.
Sir, Jonah asked you to throw him into a raging sea where he knew he would surely drown,
Yes.
and you did it.
Jonah said that the storm was on account of his disobedience to, well, God. And that if we threw him overboard, the sea would surely calm.
Well, what happened?
It was amazing. As soon as Jonah left the boat, the sea was without a ripple.
Then what happened?
Well, one of the other passengers said that they saw a big fish, probably a whale, circling Jonah. I don't want to think about it.
So, it's okay. Thank you, sir, for speaking with us tonight. I appreciate that. This has been...
Good evening, and I'm Richard Chambers, and thank you for tuning in to the Negative Side Talk Show. Tonight's topic is Giants. Should we fear them? This is a follow-up to last week's show, Giant Makeovers, and Mothers of Giants who have seen Elvis. Tonight, our two guests are two of the 10 spies that went to the Promised Land to see if it was as if the Lord had said. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today. I'll begin with Joshua. So in your own words, exactly what did you see when you went to the Promised Land?
We saw giants, hundreds of them, thousands of them, hundreds of them.
So you did see giants.
Well, sure there were giants, but they're only a small part of the story. The only small part about the story was us.
How big were these giants?
We were like grasshoppers compared to them.
Is that true?
Compared to us, they were grasshoppers. Compared to God, they were wimps. Now, getting back to the Promised Land.
They'd rather hear about the giants.
No, they wouldn't. They don't want to dwell on the negative.
Well, actually, Joshua, we would. We are a talk show, and we are in this for ratings.
But the Promised Land was flowing with milk and honey. The bunches of grapes were so big it took 2 men to carry them. We didn't even try to lift the watermelons.
That's nice. Now, about those giants.
Would this be a good time to mention my book?
Well, I'd rather see possibilities than hopelessness. I'd rather look beyond the giants and see the greatness of God.
Well, yeah. I believe this is a good time for a commercial break.
Don't you want to hear what I have to say?
Not really. This is Sweeps Week.
Give the people some hope. Give them something to believe in, and your ratings will soar.
Commercial, commercial.
You could try and cut me off. You at home could turn your channel. But my message will get through somehow. A message of hope, not fear. A challenge to look at the Promised Land in your life, not giants.
Where do we get these guests?
Would this be a good time to mention my book? Giant Codependents. And those who love them.
Forget his book. Let me tell you more about the Promised Land. Crystal clear water, sky is so blue, and grass greener than you could ever possibly imagine.
There goes my career. The ratings are falling so quick. The show's going to be canceled. No kidding.
Does he want me to give the phone number for my book?
Actually, my producer has just told me that our ratings are skyrocketing through the roof. I guess a positive attitude is a good way to go.
Positively.
So, Joshua, Can you come back tomorrow and join us on our show and tell us more about the Promised Land?
There's nothing I'd like better.
And that's going to be the end of our episode for today. Join in tomorrow on the Negative Talk Show to hear more about the Promised Land from Joshua.
Did I mention it's only $8.95?
Great. And now, let's hear it for the star of our show, Chuck Newley.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Welcome to No Greater Love Connection. Let's meet our first contestant. He was lost. He was lonely. He was at the end of his rope. But he's back today to tell us about his No Greater Love Connection experience. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome. Randy Ackerman. Enough already. Have a seat. I said have a seat. So, Randy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, Chuck, I was feeling down. There was an emptiness inside of me. I didn't have a purpose, a direction.
So that's when you called us.
Exactly.
So, Randy, where were you born?
I was born into sin, Chuck.
Oh, weren't we all?
Yes, but the person I met through No Greater Love Connection died for those sins some 2,000 years ago.
So, he paid the price.
Wiped my slate completely clean.
Sounds like the two of you really hit it off.
He knew everything about me, but he loved me anyway.
And that's just what you were looking for?
Better, I could talk to him any day or night.
You have his beeper number?
He doesn't have a beeper, but I could reach him 24/7. He's ready to listen whenever I'm feeling down, or just when I need to talk. In fact, he knows what I need before I even ask him.
So what you're saying is, you made a no greater love connection.
I sure did. The emptiness inside me is filled now. And I just want to live the rest of my life for him.
So you want to continue this relationship?
Absolutely. The man gave his life for me on the cross, Chuck. How can I refuse a love like that?
Unfortunately, Randy, a lot of us do.
When we left Marlene Williams, she was about to decide how much of God's Word she was going to follow, and how much of it she would ignore. Would she obey all 10 commandments, or pretend every other one was a misprint? Would she have an attitude over the Beatitudes? Would she trust in all of God's promises, or just the ones that don't require much faith? And finally, would she wonder how she's hearing me over this PA system when she doesn't even have a PA system? These answers to these and other probing questions will be answered today on the 1,450,000th episode of All My Verses.
All right, just one more time. I'm going to pick one of these Bible verses, and it better be one that I can follow. A gossip betrays a confidence, but a trustworthy man keeps a secret. Struck out again. I can't follow a verse like that. At least not until I've told a few people that juicy half-truth about Ralph Wilson. Guess I'll have to pick another verse for today. Hello. And this is who? First Bank MasterCard. And who did you say that you wanted? Marlene Williams?
Oh, sorry, she not live here. You dialed the wrong number.
Bill collectors. Well, I sure hope that there's a verse in here that I can use. Bread of deceit is sweet to a man, but afterwards his mouth shall be filled with gravel. Come on, where are all the genealogies? They're usually safe. All I'm asking for is for a few little begats. Yes. I'm the lady of the house. You're collecting for a charity? You mean I was trying to find a scripture for today and you interrupted me to ask me for money? If I may leave you with a word of encouragement, beat it! Boy, some people. I'm going to give this one last try. He that hath pity on the poor lendeth to the Lord. This just isn't my day. Well, I can't find one single scripture to pertain and have any relevance to my life whatsoever. I guess I'm just going to have to go back to the old close your eyes and point technique.
And so we come to the end of another episode of All My Verses. Be sure to tune in tomorrow to find out if Marlene ever does find a scripture that she's willing to obey, or if she just keeps skipping over verse by verse until there's only one verse left. Jesus wept. Come to think of it, maybe that's what he's doing now.
Good evening. My guests tonight are Professor Rupnick, the world's foremost authority on the theory of evolution, and Mr. Adam. Just Adam, no last name?
In my day, we didn't need one.
Yes. Well, our topic tonight is how man came to be, his origins, his beginning. We'll start with Professor Rupnick. You, sir, believe that man evolved from the primates. Am I correct?
Yes, that is what I believe.
The primates? You gotta be kidding. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Please, Mr. Adams. I'll give you a chance to respond in a moment. Let the professor explain.
Yes, well, Gary, after years and years of extensive scientific research, my colleagues and I have determined that man has been descended from the monkey.
Descended him? I named him.
Do you mind? I thought this was going to be a debate between two intellectual minds.
You named the monkey?
Yeah, I named all the animals. Elephant, giraffe, donkey. They're all my idea. Don't you like aardvark?
Well, I gotta admit, it sure comes in handy in Scrabble. So what you're saying is, you were the first man on Earth.
Yeah, now you're getting a picture. I even got my Social Security card to prove it. See? Number one.
Ah, very nice, very nice.
Number one, Mr. Professor.
Gary, I'm a highly respected scientist. I don't have time for such fairy tales.
Yeah, man evolved from monkeys. Where'd you come with a fairy tale like that? I don't even like bananas.
Look, I don't have to stay here and take this. I came here tonight to discuss the facts.
You want facts? I'll give you facts. I was there. I know firsthand what happened. One day I was in existence, and then I was, poof, a grown man, made in God's image, not bonzos.
So, you're a creationist.
I prefer the term eyewitness.
If you were created as a grown man, then you had no childhood?
That's right. You won't see me on any talk show circuit talking about my dysfunctional family. It was just me. I was created just as you see me now. I didn't have to go through teething, learning to walk, puberty, none of that. Neither did my wife.
Your wife?
Yeah, I got kind of lonely. So I asked the Creator for a helpmate, and he created Eve. Talk about paradise. Custom-made wife with no mother-in-law.
So then, women were your idea?
Yeah, it turned out pretty nice, don't you think?
The packaging is great, but you really could use an instruction manual.
You know, I thought about that, but I figured even God was too busy to write a book that big.
This is all mildly amusing. But can we get back to the debate now?
In a minute. So, where did all this take place?
In the Garden of Eden. We lived there until we had to move.
Huh, what, the property tax is too high?
Well, actually, the cost of disobedience was too high. God had told us we could eat from the fruit of any of the trees in the garden except for one. And, well, we disobeyed. And what happened was, I guess you kind of see we got evicted.
Well, look, I'm sure this goes over very big in Sunday school class. But I'm a very highly respected scientist, and I don't have time for this monkey business.
So, Professor, what you're saying is that you can prove the theory of evolution beyond a shadow of doubt?
Well, not exactly prove.
Then why are you teaching as fact? It's really a theory, isn't it?
Well, But one of these days, scientists will have enough evidence to prove our theory beyond the shadow of a doubt.
One of these days, you're going to come face to face with the Creator, and He's going to prove His existence beyond a shadow of a doubt.
You know, Professor, there is one thing I've always been curious about.
Yes, what's that?
If the theory of evolution is correct, then why aren't monkeys still evolving?
Oh, that's a very good question. Very good question. That is because, well, I guess,
It is the fool that said, in his heart there is no God.
Are you calling me a fool, sir?
Not me, it's in the Bible.
I simply don't believe in what I cannot see.
Can you see the millions of people who are watching us right now on their television sets?
Well, no.
Well, then they must not exist then, do they?
Well, sure, they exist. We just can't see them, but we know they're there.
Well, God exists too. We can't see Him, but if we look around us, we know He's there. There's a blueprint too perfect to be chance.
So then it's all just a matter of faith.
Yeah, blind faith.
Sir, it takes more faith to believe that man came to be by remarkable coincidence than it takes to believe in a remarkable God.
And on that note, we'll have to close. But be sure and join us next week when handyman Tim Allen gets some building tips from Noah. Should be interesting. Until then, this is Gary King. Good night.
This is the Eternity Weather Channel with tonight's Eternity Weather Report. From our satellite readings, it doesn't look like we'll be having much of a change in our weather patterns anytime soon. Heaven continues to enjoy nice, mild temperatures and beautifully clear sky. No wonder they call it paradise, folks. It is absolutely beautiful. The waters are steady and calm around the Crystal Sea, and there's a slight breeze from the flap of low-flying angel's wings. If you're headed anywhere near this destination, I'd say you have made a terrific choice. Meanwhile, directly south of there, they're having record-breaking heat waves. Temperatures are soaring, 1,000 degrees, 2,000 degrees. It's a scorcher, folks. There's not a sunscreen on the market strong enough to handle this kind of heat. We're hundreds of miles away, and it's already melted half of our weather equipment and most of my dental work. If your travel plans take you anywhere near this destination, I would strongly suggest a course change. Turn around and head north, way north. This is the Eternity Weather Channel, giving you continuous weather updates to help you decide where you want to spend eternity.
Do you have trouble sleeping because you're worried what tomorrow will bring? Do you wonder if your ship is ever going to come in, or are you going to have to drag the bottom of the ocean for it? If that sounds like you, then call us today at Let Not Your Heart Be Troubled Financial Institution. We're not a bank, lender, or credit union. We don't pay interest, charge interest, or give away toasters. We just remind you that you're a child of the King. And in all our years in business, we've never seen the righteous forsaken or his seed out begging for bread. So don't let worry steal your joy. Follow scriptural principles with your finances and put God first in both your life and your wallet. After all, when's the last time you saw a sparrow out begging with a tin cup? Or a lily of the field holding a sign that says, "We'll bloom for food"? Come on, give us a call today at 1-800-HE-CARES. That's 1-800-HE-CARES, and leave your troubles with him.
Today on the True Stories of the Prison Patrol, we're going to hear an incredible tale of a prison guard who was assigned to the cells of Paul and Silas. Excuse me, officer.
Yeah?
I'm from the True Stories of the Prison Patrol, and I'd like to talk with you about two prisoners that were assigned to you.
Do you have their booking number?
No, but I know their names are Paul and Silas.
There's two prisoners I'll never forget.
Why is that?
Well, most prisoners, they get in fights with other inmates. They yell at the guards, start riots. Paul and Silas were the only two who ever sat around singing praise songs.
They sang praise songs in prison?
Wore all three hymnals. They'd sing every single verse of every single song over and over and over again. I never saw anything like it. Here were two guys whose freedom had been taken from them, and for what? For stealing? For killing? No, for preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ.
And they didn't appeal?
They were thrown in this cold, dirty prison, feet were put in stocks, and all they can do is sing about how good their God is.
Real optimists, huh?
They didn't see the glass as half full, they saw the well behind it.
So what'd you do?
Listen, what else could I do? I was a captive audience. You know, had my own personal concert every night.
That's better than the riot, I guess.
One night we even had special effects.
Special effects?
It was a night I'll never forget. Paul and Silas were on the second chorus of their third song. All of a sudden, I hear this rumbling. The earth starts shaking. Things are falling all around us.
An earthquake?
I figure it's a 6, 7, maybe even 8-pointer. I don't know. We didn't have our seismograph hooked up that night. Felt like the epicenter was right under our jail cell.
What'd the prisoners do?
That's the amazing thing. The bands on the prisoners fell off. Their stocks were open. After the shaking stopped, I don't see Paul and Silas anymore. I figure my life is over. Those magistrates don't look too kindly at guards who misplaced their prisoners. But then I hear Paul's voice telling me not to panic, that all the prisoners are still there.
They didn't even try to escape?
I knew right then and there that what they had inside of them, what they were singing about, was real. The next thing I know, I'm asking them, what do I need to be saved?
You became a believer.
I became a believer, my family became believers, and who knows how many other prisoners were affected by the testimony of those two men. And after the earthquake, the magistrates even decided to give them their freedom.
That's quite a story.
Yeah, it just goes to show you, you never know what can happen when you choose to live in praise instead of pity.
This is Howard Rose with the Taking Stock Report, the latest economic news to guide you on your journey from Wall Street to the Golden Streets. Earthly treasures have continued to decline in value. Most brokers are encouraging their clients to acquire more eternal stocks at this time. Investing in treasures in heaven stock may not let you see gain here on earth, but their market value in the hereafter is soaring through the roof. Helping others, giving to the poor, visiting widows and those in prison. You won't find these featured in Fortune 500 or the Wall Street Journal, but they're big accounts where it matters the most. And believe me, God is one broker who keeps very good books. Again, this is Howard Rose with the Taking Stock Report, reminding you daily to take stock of your life. And if you aren't investing in eternal treasures now, you might just want to rethink your portfolio. What's going on? It's not the end of the world. All my receipts. Everything should be okay. We were here just a minute ago.
Excuse me, sir, can I help you?
Yeah, I went out to get a cup of coffee and I came back and now my bag of receipts is gone.
Well, can you describe it to me? What did it look like?
Your bowl's in a grocery bag. I have it here by check.
Well, everybody has their receipts in grocery bags. Can you be a little bit more specific?
All right, it was a Piggly Wiggly bag.
Oh, yeah, I remember that bag.
That's good.
Yeah, but I thought it was trash.
You didn't.
Well, see, we like to keep things tidy around here.
Oh, that should be okay. Just point me to the trash can. I'll get everything out. That's
Well, we don't throw trash away. We use the paper shredder. I have some tape if you want to borrow it.
Got hope? Get Jesus.
Hello, and today on Sadducee TV, we're going to conclude our series on the 15 Commandments. Yes, I said 15. I know there was only 10 in the original ones that God put on the tablets, but we've added a few of our own. And don't forget, next week we're going to start our new series on If Your Brother Offend Thee, Get Even. But I wanted to remind you also about our monthly giveaway. This month, for only 100 shekels, we're going to give you this beautiful, brand new, but who's that?
I think she wants to donate some money. Look, she's got.
Well, tell her to call our 1-800 number. Operators are standing by.
Maybe she has so much money she can't fit it
Operators are standing by.
in. Maybe she has so much money she can't fit the zeros on her check.
Oh, well, let's get the donation bowl then.
There we go.
All right. Yes, sister, how can we help you? Thank you.
How much is in there? How much we have?
2 mites.
A farthing. A far thing. We don't even have a mark on our money meters. That's that little.
I know, I can't believe she wasted so much of our airtime for 2 measly mites.
Maybe she doesn't know we take credit cards. Should I go here?
Oh, good idea. Oh, wait.
Jesus?
Oh, no, not him again.
Oh, I wonder what he wants.
Did you see the offering that widow gave? She gave more than anyone here. She gave all she had.
I don't believe what I hear. He was impressed with 2 mites.
I know. He just doesn't get it, does he?
No.
2 little mites won't buy us new robes. It won't buy us a dinner at our hotel room. It won't make this shekel checker any bigger. He just doesn't get the basic principles of giving.
Maybe we're the ones that don't understand.
Are you having trouble communicating with your donkey? Do you wish your beast of burden understood you better? Wouldn't it be great if he spoke your language? Well, he can. Impossible, you say? Not with my new Donkey Talk video series. We've all heard the news reports of Balaam's donkey who talked. Now, yours can too. All you need is just $29.95 in shekels or credit tablet, and you too will be conversing with your donkey in just 10 short days. Some dialects slightly longer. Now, imagine finally being able to get to the bottom of those awful mood swings, to talk him through his stubbornness and help your animal excel to his fullest potential. Yes, in just 10 days, your donkey can master such difficult phrases as, "Oh no, not hay again," and "Why don't you ever carry your own stuff, man?" But don't take my word for it. Let's hear from a few of our satisfied customers.
Well, I bought your video about 4 months ago, and my donkey has yet to talk a single word.
I want my money back, and I want my money back now. You're a fraud.
And my donkey hasn't talked yet either. But if he could, the only thing he would say is, to me, he would say, "Sucker!"
Perhaps you're not following the instructions precisely.
And perhaps you're running a nice little racket here.
Yeah, perhaps maybe we should call the authorities.
The authorities?
Making people think that your donkey can talk just like the Balaam's donkey did is really low. It's just really low.
And where is the crew of 60 Minutes when you really need them?
So I take it you don't want the next video in the series teaching your donkey the Macarena. Okay, so it was God, and God alone, who made Balaam's donkey speak. But a guy's got to try to make a buck where he can, even if he does have to alter the facts. Or maybe not.
Hi. Today on Carpenter's Corner, we're going to be discussing the importance of building on a good foundation. As you can see, this house here we built on a solid rock, and this other house here we built... What happened to it? That's odd. It was here yesterday for rehearsal.
Hey, Rob.
Frank, what happened to you?
I built that house on the sand like you said.
Yeah?
Well, this big wave comes up, and...
Don't tell me, it knocked it over?
No, just the patio. But while I was repairing the patio, the winds...
And they knocked it over?
No, but they blew the roof off. So while I'm repairing the roof, the rains came.
And the rain knocked it over?
No, the house finally collapsed. In the flood.
Flood?
I barely escaped with my life. Rob, I'm really sorry I ruined your show.
Ruined my show? This is great. It couldn't have gone any better than this.
It is?
It's exactly what I wanted to.
Funny, I don't remember reading that in my contract.
Well, don't you see all these calamities clearly show the views of the importance of building on a rock?
Well, couldn't we have just written a safety manual instead?
Are you kidding? A floating sofa out to sea is worth 1,000 words. See, folks at home, this house that was built on a rock faced the same elements, but the builder didn't have to go through all that my buddy Frank here had to go through. And you know why?
He read his contract?
No, because he built his house on a solid foundation.
But you told me to build it on sand.
And you did a good job, Frank.
But my house is sailing halfway to China.
And what better way to drive home my point?
Can I go home? I'm not feeling very well.
Sure, but just remember, it's important because this principle applies to life as well. Folks, remember,
build it on a rock,
or
at least read your contract.
Right. This is Bob Viola, Carpenter's Corner, saying, so long. We choked it.
Rob, you do have workman's comp, right? Oh.
We have an update on the man who was lost at sea for 3 days. Known only as Jonah, he has miraculously turned up in the city of Nineveh and is holding a revival there. The word on the street has it that he was actually inside the belly of a large sea creature for 3 days and then decided to stop running from God. Apparently, the people of Nineveh are listening to Jonah's message. Our sources tell us that the entire city has repented. Again, Jonah is alive and well in the city of Nineveh. This has been a late-breaking news report. We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming.
We're at the battlegrounds between the Israelites and the Philistines. The giant Goliath has challenged the Israelites to send forth one of their men, and so far the only one to accept the challenge is David, just a shepherd boy. His talent with the slingshot has won him great local acclaim, but now I think he's bitten off more than he can chew. Let's watch the young lad as he winds up his swing. What courage. What confidence. What a shot. Yes. Yes. It's a bullseye. David has won the match with just one lucky shot. The giant is down. Here comes the champion right now. I think he has something to say to his many fans.
Excuse me, did I hear you say lucky shot?
Well, that was incredibly lucky.
Luck had nothing to do with the God was on my side.
Well, however you look at it, I'm sure the offers are going to be pouring in now. Pro sports teams wanting you to be their leading slingshotter, and slingshot companies wanting you to be their spokesmen to endorse their products. I sure hope you have a good agent.
I've got the only agent I need, God. Whether he wants me to stay a shepherd boy or become king. Either way, I couldn't be in better hands.
Well, there you have it, folks. Giant Goliath is down, and chalk another one up for David's God's Army and their perfect score. And this has been another edition of the Wide World of Slingshots.
The following is a test of the emergency rapture system. It is only a test. Had this been an actual rapture, those of you who are ready would have been caught up to meet the Lord in the sky. Those of you who weren't, well, we try not to think about that. But don't take it lightly. You've been given another chance. According to our safety handbook, the Bible, it is going to happen soon, and it'll happen when you least expect it. So we advise you to take all the necessary precautions and be prepared at all times. This concludes this test of the emergency rapture system. We now return you to our regularly...
And welcome to the Martha Stubert Gardening Show, and thank you for joining me. If you will recall, earlier in the season, we planted some seeds in our vegetable garden, and it's now time to harvest. So we're going to take a look and start with our carrots. Let me pull one up. Oh my, well this isn't a carrot at all, this is a potato. The sign says carrot. Well, just because they have eyes doesn't mean they can read. Well, we'll just go ahead and move on to our cucumbers then and see how they're doing. Well, it looks as though they're impersonating tomatoes. What's going on here? Someone has mixed up my signs. Looks like someone needs a Martha Stewart etiquette lesson on how to keep their grubby little mitts off of other people's property. Patty Joe! Excuse me one moment, please. Patty Joe!
Yes, Miss Stewart?
Patty Joe, what's going on here?
Is something wrong?
Someone has mixed up all of my vegetable signs. That someone wouldn't happen to be you, would it?
I put them in alphabetical order.
Alphabetical order? Well, for what reason?
Well, I figured it'd be easier for you.
Easier? Well, I can't run a gardening show like this. This isn't easier. I don't know what's planted where.
Well, that's easy. Just do what you've been doing. Wait to see what comes up.
Wait till what comes up? Oh, no, this just can't work this way.
Do you want me to fix them?
Would you please fix them? And don't ever touch them again, please.
I promise. But it's a good lesson to learn in living life.
And how's that?
We're all gonna reap what we sow. No matter how many times someone changes signs.
You know what, Patty Joe? Sometimes your brilliance amazes me.
Good evening, and welcome to Heaven's Theatre. I'm Peter, bringing you live the evening's event, This Was Your Life. Tonight, we pay tribute to a very quiet man, a very humble man, a man that few people knew, but everyone loved his smile. Mike Stapleton, this was your life. Let's hear it for him, folks. Welcome, Mike. Welcome to heaven, my son. Are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be there, Chuck.
Peter.
Same thing.
Have a seat. Let's begin by hearing a few stories from your past.
I'm Harold Greenlee, one of your co-workers. I picked up one of those tracks you left in the lunchroom one day. You probably thought it went in the trash. But I waited till everyone left, and I went over and picked it up. See, I was going through some tough times in my life. And the words in that track helped me to realize how much God loves me. So, I said the prayer that was on the back, and I turned my life over to the Lord. The next week I got transferred to a new office. I never got a chance to thank you until now.
Isn't that touching, folks?
I had no idea, Bob.
Oh, wait, there's more.
Cool.
My name is Mary Crawford. I was a waitress at the coffee shop where you came in and ate every Thursday morning. Week after week you came in and you bowed your head and you said grace. There's not too many people that do that anymore. So a waitress remembers things like that. You always had something encouraging to say to me. It was important to me. I thank you. I never got a chance to thank you properly for that. Thank you.
Very lovely. Very lovely indeed.
Yes, it is, Paul.
Peter.
Same thing.
Oh, all right.
I was the lady in the grocery store last week. I was right in line behind you. My name's Roxanne Connor. You don't know me, but I saw the clerk overchange you. And I saw that Christian t-shirt you had on, and I just knew you were going to hold up the line and give that money back. Well, I was in a hurry, and I kind of let you know it. But to my surprise, you kept the money, and you walked out of the store. You must have been in a hurry, too. So, From that day on, when an incident like that happened to me, I just kept the money too. Thanks for easing my conscience.
No, wait, I should have wait a minute. Where's your rope?
Well, they won't let me stay here.
You mean, Bob? It's hard to believe.
Yes, but there's no time for that. Should have done it sooner. We must move on.
I'm Brad Jones. I worked at the video rental store near your house. I even saw you at church a few times when I visited there. You get up on stage and make some announcements. Even shook my hand afterwards. But I don't think you knew who I was. I always wondered why you rented the kind of movies you did, the ones that you got to get from behind the counter. I know it's a free country and all, and I know I should have kept my eyes on the Lord and not man, but I was disappointed. I never went back to your church. I'm not going to blame you for the way my life turned out. We all have to make our own decisions. But I was searching for a church, or someone who walked with and talked. I quit looking after that.
Just so hard to believe that so many people were looking at my life there, John.
Peter.
Same thing.
We're going to have a lot of work to do on you. Well, Mike, you know what they say. You win some, and you lose some. Well, folks, that wraps up another edition of This Was Your Life. Tune in next week when we might just look you in the eye and say, this was your life. What have you done with it?
Come on, why are you going so slow? You're going so slow you could have drove a tractor. The same to you, buddy. Why is the traffic so slow today? I have a luncheon, I have to turn in my papers, I have a speech tonight. Come on, get going. Oh, not you, Mr. Policeman.
Got peace? Get Jesus.
This is Davis Holmes in Newscopter 6 with your daily traffic report. Not much has changed on Narrow Road. It's still the best commute there is. I don't know why more people don't take this route. The directions are clearly posted so you won't get lost. And never a detour unless you choose to take one. And you won't see any bumper battles over who's going to be in the lead. In fact, it's considered an honor to be last in this place. Okay, I wished I could say the same about wide highway. We're talking pure gridlock here, bumper to bumper to bumper, all the way. Cars are still trying to get on. I don't get it. There's hundreds of potholes to trip you up, misleading street signs. Road rage here is epidemic. This is anybody's idea of fun. I recommend bypassing all this misery by taking the narrow road exit the first chance you get. Don't be fooled into thinking the road more traveled is a better way to go. These people are just following the crowd and getting nowhere fast. Narrow road is a route that's going to get you where you want to go, so take it from me, Davis Holmes, your Newscopter 6 traffic reporter. Take narrow road while you still can. Eyewitness people honking and tailgating and cutting each other off on wide highway every day. If they could only see what I see, or it's leading to a dead end.
And there you have it, folks. King Solomon has handed down his decision in the case of Mother versus Mother. The two mothers, as you know, were claimed to have given birth to the same child, and since there are no blood tests or DNA testing at this place, and Geraldo Rivera is not shown in this locale, we had a difficult time on our hands for sure. King Solomon, however, in his infinite wisdom, gave the order that the child be divided between the two mothers, literally. And we didn't think he'd really do it, but you have to admit the verdict would reveal the true mother, and it did. And this is today we're going to be talking to the plaintiff and the defendant in this case as soon as they, ladies, here they are now. Ladies, tell me, what do you think about the outcome of this case?
I was tricked.
Tricked? How come?
Well, King Solomon stooped to trickery and scare tactics, and I thought he was a king, not an attorney.
So you didn't think that this was a brilliant piece of legal maneuvering?
Actually, it was very brilliant, but it didn't get me the baby.
It wasn't your baby to begin with.
Details. Besides, I would have treated him like my own child. I would have hired someone to take him to his Little League games. I would have bought his own TV so he'd stay out of my hair. And on the weekends when I'd party all night, I would have let him order all the pizzas he wanted.
You would have done all that?
In a heartbeat.
Well, sorry, but the judge already made his decision, and I have my baby back, and all's right with the world.
Yeah.
Well, would you at least let me visit him on the weekends?
Why, of course.
And would you invite me to his birthday party?
I'd be happy to.
Can I hold him one last time before I leave?
Sure, go ahead. You can even change him.
Change him? What do I look like, his mother?
Well, there you have it, folks. Got the case of the mother versus mother. Next time you are in a dispute, don't take the law into your own hands. Take it to the king. King Solomon's court, serving all of your legal needs.
You want to know the future? You want to be ready what tomorrow brings? You don't have to call all those other hotlines and pay outrageous fees to see what lies ahead. We've got it all right here in this book, the Holy Bible. Prophets of long ago wrote it all down through the divine inspiration of the Holy Spirit. You want to know the true future? You want to hear from a prophet with 100% accuracy? Call Revelation Hotline. Better yet, just read the book.
Coming to you live from the Pearly Gates Pavilion, it's the event of a lifetime, the award show of award shows. It's the one that the entire world has been talking about for thousands and thousands of years. It's the Eternity Award Show. I tell you, folks, anybody who is anybody has shown up today. Famous faces you've all heard of: Peter, Matthew, Martin Luther, Billy Sunday. The list goes on and on. Legends of our faith. And if you don't have a ticket to this ceremony, you definitely are not in the in crowd. Yes, it's the one, the big event, the day that folks have been anticipating for thousands and thousands of years, and it's guaranteed to be full of surprises. Who will be the big winners? Will it be those saints who are always in the spotlight, or will it be that faithful servant who nobody knows? The records have been kept sealed for centuries and known only to the accounting firm of Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. The ceremony will begin any moment now, and from what I hear, it's a celebration that will last throughout eternity. Talk about a party. We'll have full coverage of all the presentations right after this life, so stay tuned. It'll be worth the wait.
Well, gosh, that's the end, doggone it. Night-night.